Today FM is awesome in Ba. We love you, Today FM.
Today FM rocks in the story and I love listening to Today FM.
Today FM is #1 in Telev.
Today FM rocks in Lotaka. Woohoo!
Today FM is the most popular station in Nasino.
We love everything about Today FM here at Golden Point Reki.
Everybody in Singapore loves Today FM.
Today FM rocks in Ba.
Bulan 2 sa Tolu FM, enapan 2 Raki-Raki.
Bula FM namban 2 in Nosor.
Go etabo ke buat kola sa Bula FM nga.
Bula FM namban 2 Korbu.
Bula FM namban 2 Sawa. Bula FM namban 2 Lotoka. Bula.
Namban 2 Bula FM member.
Bula FM namban 2 NSR in Singapore.
Kalau talita kada warung ng Bula FM Lotoka.
Ali akar warung Bula FM namban 2 NSR.
Squatters get their own homes. Owners of Cloud9 hope to resume business in Tavarua, and over 200 new recruits join the military. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. 33 families that used to live as squatters were today given the keys to their own homes. The Langilangi Community Project at G2 Estate outside Suva is the first of its kind, where the government and NGOs fund inexpensive housing. Vosita Kote Wasawasa reports.
The project cost $8.7 million and 33 houses are ready for families to move in. In total, there will be 143 homes, a community hall, a kindergarten, a taxi stand and a small produce market.
We at PCN believe in not just building houses, but building a community where people don't just think of themselves, but care for one another and share for one another as they did in the days not long gone.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama reaffirmed his government's commitment to providing affordable homes for all.
In addition to the work here, my government has approved the leasing of the whole of G2 Estate to the People Community Network to facilitate the proper and decent housing of more than 10,000 poor or squatter families in G2, Wailea, Nanuku settlement and other settlements within Suva.
From the life where we lived in a house with no electricity and no water to this, we are very grateful.
Very happy and very glad that I had come through my dream. I got this house.
It was also announced today that the entire piece of land at G2 Estate has been leased to the People's Community Network to build even more homes. The housing units are funded by savings from squatters, government aid and donations from NGOs and others. Wasita Kotumwasawasa, FBC News.
280 new recruits have joined the Fiji military forces after successfully completing 13 weeks of training. Apisolomedoka was at the passing out parade at the Force Training Ground in Nasinu.
These young men walked into the training school 3 months ago, unsure of what lay ahead of them. Today they march out as proud soldiers ready to serve the country. Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama confirms most of these men will be posted to Territorial Force Brigade to assist the regular force.
This call comes with enormous responsibility, where you are expected to prepare yourselves and be ready for any call of duty at any given time. You are expected to be aware of our nation's affairs and development and must learn to relate to this.
With elections next year, Bainimarama told his men not to be easily stirred and keep the focus on maintaining the law of the land.
You must be just, you must be firm, you must be steadfast, and you must be fair. In trying times that we are facing in our country, the IFMF plays a vital role in maintaining law and order in internal security situations.
The military commander reminded the new batch the challenge that lies ahead.
There are many obstacles in our path, and your enlistment into the IFMF today is of great assistance to our cause. We must sacrifice for future.
Bainimarama says he will not be surprised to see some of these men being called for peacekeeping duties in the not-too-distant future. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
A day before the 2014 budget announcement, there is hope for stiffer measures and surveillance on any reduction of duty rates and their effect on prices of goods. There are also calls for improved tax administration and a review of the taxation system.
The Consumer Council of Fiji strongly feels that duty reduction in certain commodities is not being felt at the grassroots level.
In reality, the lower price do not trickle down. So the concern here is that the difference in duty, who is pocketing this difference in duty? Because government has lost the revenue, consumers are still paying either the same price or higher price. So who has taken that difference?
Ordinary citizens have expressed similar sentiments and want the government to cut down the prices of essential food items.
I want to see this, all the price will go down from tin, fish, milk, any other else, and rice.
We should think about the poor so that the poor can afford and able to stay in this country.
We also survey food items every year. And this is a basket of groceries. And what we have seen that the items in this basket has actually gone up and is going up year by year. We've also seen that the food price index from the base year to 2012 has gone up by 24.1%. So these are the figures from Bureau of Stats, and it is consistent with the survey the council has been conducting, and it's a clear indication that cost of living has gone up. Yesterday,
the Consumer Council CEO says the only way to ensure that prices reflect the reduction in duty and other concessions is through stringent monitoring systems in the 2014 budget.
What we need for 2014 budget, an announcement that will set up a system, and a system would be a strict price monitoring system so that any duty reduced item comes under Commerce Commission, and Commerce Commission can work with FERCA, and they will ensure that the price of these items gets reflected at the retail level.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Institute of Accountants wants the 2014 budget to promote investments and economic activities, implement and improved tax administration and compliance policies, develop the agricultural potential of the country, and reduce the size of the public sector. The tourism sector, on the other hand, looks forward to an increased marketing grant.
We've been getting consistently from government 23.5 million. For the last few years now, they've kept their word.
With the Bainimarama government getting the thumbs up from neighbours Australia and New Zealand, as well as the wider support from the international community and increasing preparation for the 2014 general election, the 2014 budget is expected to be more intense than the last. Nikolonga, FBC News.
FBCTV will carry live coverage of the budget announcement. Our broadcast will begin from 9:30 in the morning. A 44-year-old Chinese national was fined $2,500 by the Nandi Magistrates Court today for failing to declare foreign currency at the border. Shu Chen Lan was charged with one count of failing to declare foreign currency worth more than 20,000 Fijian dollars when arriving into the country from Korea yesterday. Our cameras were blocked from filming the man in question. He was on a business trip to Vanuatu with two others and had already traveled to Nigeria, Angola, Iraq and Dubai. Shu Chen was reminded that such laws were made to protect Fiji from money laundering, terrorism and other serious offences. He has to pay the fine from the money seized within 30 days. After the break, Chinese Film Festival comes to Fiji.
Always Gold FM for us at Golden Point, Raki Raki.
Gold FM is #1 in Nusrat.
Gold FM is Nelly's best radio station.
It's always Gold FM with us here in Singapore.
Old is gold, and Gold FM is #1 here in Lautoka.
Singapore loves classic hits on Gold FM.
Listen to Gold FM here in Tagua.
We love Gold FM in Ba. We've got beautiful beaches, people, and Gold FM in Raki Raki.
Lautoka loves the classic hits on Gold FM.
talita na radio Fiji One na mwirani nonda kunua.
Ando talita kana borrongo na radio Fiji One singa toka mboleta ni station ni alumatua.
Ando talita kabale una borrongo na radio Fiji One station ni alumatua ilo toka.
Ando talita kabale una borrongo na radio Fiji One mandi na station ni alumatua.
Au tungoi korbo. Ando borrongo lebe na station ni alumatua na radio Fiji One.
Ando borrongo na radio Fiji One na station ni alumatua na mandoi tele.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. The owners of Cloud9, which was shut down last Friday, claim the authorities have been misinformed and are hoping for a solution. Tourism Minister Aisaid Kayum has made it clear that the floating bar and restaurant in Tavarua near Nandi is illegal. Christopher Chand reports.
Tony Phillip, the owner of Cloud9, has issued a statement saying the business has all the necessary permits from the proper government authorities.
The law is quite clear. The law is quite emphatically clear that you cannot have any other type of operations in those areas other than water sports and surfing. And that's what should happen. And it's there for a reason, and we already issued a statement as to why it should happen.
Phillip believes authorities are being misled and wants an opportunity to change the minister's mind about the business being a breach of the surfing decree.
See, Chris, you need to look at the law. The law has a particular position. It's in the same way, it's like saying the law says you cannot steal, you don't go and strike up a solution. The law is quite clear that you cannot operate any activity in that area other than water sports.
The owner of Cloud9 has denied allegations that they are polluting the environment and damaging nearby reefs.
There are various other parts where people didn't carry out those sorts of operations. And I think it would be unwise of anybody to try and undermine this very well thought out and well thought out law.
Phillip claims there still hasn't been a formal notice of closure, but they've shut down the restaurant out of respect. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
While kava consumption may be on the increase, prices seem to have remained steady for some months now. Kava sellers say there's been little movement in market prices and the current price tags are keeping business buoyant.
The drink of the gods, as it's called, kava consumption, is said to be at an all-time high. While many think that the retail prices of Angona are far too high, those in the business disagree.
Well, price changing depends on the demand of the kava and the shortage of the kava, and the weather too goes with the kava business. If there is less growth, no sunshine, people who have their own dried kava stock, previous 2-3 months stock, they will sell it for higher price. Prices will change.
Angona prices fluctuate between $28 and $35 per kilogram of pounded kava. This, according to sellers, is enough to keep their business afloat, even though more people have taken up the same trade. Those who've persevered know exactly when to take full advantage of the market.
I've been selling Angona for the past 15 years. When there are big functions in Suva, that's the time when Angona floods into the market, where farmers and suppliers usually come to Suva to take their school children back to the village for Christmas and New Year. Farmers bring their Angona to sell and buy things to take back to the island. That's why we put the price down.
With the festive season around the corner, Angona sellers are looking forward to making some profits, something they've been longing for.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Price will be changed directly.
All these Angona sellers can do for now is hope for diversification and value adding to push retail prices up. Aureliana Wandra, FBC News.
The 2013 Chinese Film Festival was launched in Suva last night. It features 5 Chinese movies in a bid to help Fijians better understand the Asian country. Chanel Sivan reports.
Chinese cinema started in 1905 and is today the 3rd largest in the world. At the launch last night, Permanent Secretary for Information Sharon Smith-Jones mentioned diplomatic relations, which date back to 1975.
As we learn more tonight about Chinese cinema, can I also briefly explain our own vision for a thriving film industry in Fiji? Like all countries, we want to be able to tell our story and see it on film. The Fijian government has launched a range of initiatives to try and encourage a local industry in which our people are trained in all aspects of movie making.
The Film Week, which ends on Sunday, will showcase Ocean Heaven, The Grandmasters, Aftershock, Flying Swords of Dragon Gate, and Love in the Buff.
We will see more and more cultural exchanges. And we are confident, we hope that through our efforts, we will enable you to see more Chinese movies, to experience and feel more Chinese culture.
The Film Week is jointly hosted by China's State Administration of Press Publication, the Chinese Embassy, and the Ministry of Information. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
And Jamie joins us now with all the sports.
Good evening. Up ahead, Fiji Sports Commission hope for an increased allocation in the 2014 budget, and Sevens coach Ben Ryan seems to have found his rhythm. Details coming up.
Bato bahe, बामे रेडियो Fiji 2 के कौन सा के रोके ऑनलाइन क्लियर
रेडियो Fiji 2 रकी के लोग ज्यादा सुनते हैं।
नैनी में हम सबकी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
तालेबू के लोग रेडियो Fiji 2 सबसे ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं।
मेरी पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2, मसूरी में सभी को पसंद रेडियो Fiji 2।
तावा में रेडियो Fiji 2 सभी कोई सुनते हैं।
रेडियो Fiji 2 रॉक।
रेडियो Fiji 2 I love you।
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Fiji Sports Commission is hoping to get an increased allocation in the 2014 budget to fund its sports development outreach program as well as help local sporting bodies. Commission Chair Peter Mazie says they've put in a submission of close to $4 million. Chalendao Dakadaka reports.
The Fiji Sports Commission has spent over $100,000 towards the sports outreach program in rural areas such as Kandavu, Maduata, Namosi, Rewa and Naitasiri. And the Commission will need a fair share from the government coffers to continue the program, which not only helps development of sports, but also their efforts in youth talent identification.
That is such a good program that, yes, we have applied to government to increase that program. We'd like to see that increased by threefold. Hopefully we will get some of that. The development of our youth is paramount.
The Commission is a major contributor to our national teams that compete in the international arena through its overseas sporting tour grant, which has been well and truly used this year.
We had some major events this year, of course. We helped fund our Fiji team to the Deaf Olympics in Bulgaria. We also assisted with the Youth Olympics in Ukraine, to our tennis team in Dubai.
The Commission is committed to its goal in empowering our youths and help them to achieve their sporting goals. Chalendo Dakadak, FBC Sports.
A month into the job, and Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is slowly becoming acquainted with the mentor's role. Ryan was brought into the squad only a fortnight before the Gold Coast Sevens, which was not a lot of time for preparation. But the Englishman is slowly but surely settling in with the extended squad and is impressed with what he has seen so far.
Yeah, it's taken its time. You know, I've only been back in the country a couple of days now, and I'm slowly getting used to all the boys and making sure I know who they are and what they can do and what their strengths are, and that will take time. But I'm enjoying it, and all I can ask is that the boys give me every ounce of energy on the field in training, and that's what they're doing so far.
The players will be released to their clubs for next week's Bailey's Fiji Coral Coast Sevens, after which he will select 16 players, which will later be trimmed to 12 for the upcoming Dubai and George Sevens tournaments. And the countdown to the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens continues, with fans in for a treat next week. Organizers are working around the clock to not only accommodate the best action on the field, but off it as well. Indra Singh has more.
The countdown to one of the most looked forward Sevens tournament in the country is well underway.
Already, plans are not to make it memorable on the field, but off it as well.
This year we're very happy to announce that Thursday will be free, totally free to everyone. So basically bring your family, bring your dog, come on down, the gates are open. Friday, the embankment area is $5. Saturday, embankment $5, so very affordable. And then in the Friday grandstand is only $10. And then the Saturday, the big day, is $15 in the grandstand.
International teams start arriving next week, and big names such as Wesley Sarevi already in the country, with Bengolings arriving this weekend.
Yeah, it's just it all goes well for Fiji rugby, and that's what we're really wanting to be a part of, is laying a solid foundation for Fiji rugby going forward, in particular for the 2016 Olympics in Rio.
Teams have started their preparation already, as the fight for the $30,000 first prize money is sure to be nothing less than intense.
Blitz Lawanga Park is going to certainly something to look forward to. So yeah, the level of talent is phenomenal. We've got all the national rep players playing for their respective club sides and potential national rep players there, and that also then goes through to the women's tournament as well.
With the logistics to be sorted out this weekend, it will just be a matter of days before the kickoff on Thursday. And Fiji's rugby capital, Singatoka, will sure be the place to be come next week. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
The English side admits it is not sure what to expect from the Vodafone Fiji Mbati when the two teams meet in the Rugby League World Cup on Sunday. Today, the hosts took some time off the rugby field and visited a children's hospital. The team says the experience was a morale boost for its preparation for the tough encounter against the Mbati.
Two things. From one, not playing themselves before, and we suffered that the week before, but two, probably not being able to understand the opposition as much. You know, it's difficult when you play a team like Fiji, and you've got limited knowledge on some of their individuals to be really ready for that game. So we expect Thailand to be very good against us. They know a lot about us. Fortunately, we know a lot about them as well. So it's going to be a good contest.
That match will be played early Sunday morning. The Fiji women's basketball team is gearing up to face tough opposition in the Oceania Championships in New Zealand next month. With just 3 weeks to go, the team is putting its final touches to preparations. Shelvin Chand has more.
The Oceania Championship will provide the team with the best competition they have had this year. Despite having to face New Zealand, the team is optimistic of its chances of winning the championship.
New Zealand will be the crowd favourites at the tournament. They're hosting the event. So they should have a lot of supporters, but we're quite confident with the girls that we have here.
For the coach, the team knows what they have to do after all the sacrifices put in by the players.
It's not a free trip. The players have been, everyone knows better than that. We're going to represent our country, where we were born, where we were raised, and for us it's just, we're going to win.
As for the captain, she believes her players will reign supreme.
Right now the girls are really focused on the task ahead. We're working really hard at training.
The Fiji men's and women's basketball teams depart for New Zealand on November 27th. Shelvin Chand, FBC Sports.
That was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
There's much interest by young people in this year's Fiji Chefs Association Culinary Passion for the Pacific, underway at the Fiji National University campus in Namaka, Nandi. With more than 300 entries this year, the competition shows that cooking is fast becoming a career choice for many. Akosita Tale has more.
Competitions like this are designed to encourage more youth to develop a passion for culinary arts.
These days food speaks and it's taken a new level. There's a lot of young competitors out there, so you can see that there's a lot of these young guys are very interested in this profession now, and they're trying to get involved and do this kind of stuff.
Yesterday's competition was a tough one for the judges, with many new recipes.
Maybe, if anything, we need to be, our competitors or the chefs need to be a bit realistic on the portion sizes. I think we're getting a bit too generous here in the islands. You can see some big plates.
Women have dominated the field in past years. However, this year is a little different.
I don't have those counts at the moment, but there's good mix. There's a good mix. You know, it's not dominated by one gender, so it's quite a good balance.
While most entrants are from the industry, 27 Fiji National University students are taking part. The competition ends tomorrow. Aku si Tatale, FBC News.
Afternoon showers and thunderstorms were experienced over the eastern parts and interior of the main islands today. Elsewhere, fine weather prevailed. Temperatures were all in the low 30s. Showers and thunderstorms are forecast for all centres tomorrow afternoon. The further outlook is for some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers, isolated afternoon thunderstorms expected. Recapping the headlines, 33 former squatters today received the keys to their new homes. Cloud9 owners want an audience with the tourism minister to try and continue with operations, and more than 200 new recruits enlisted into the Fiji military forces. This week's poll question, and we're asking, should there be a complete ban on fireworks? Visit our FBC website to answer. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's all for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow. Nimo Damamba.
Old Town Tower में it's only Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
ताकि हर घर में खाली मिर्ची FM बजे. Mirchi FM it's hot.
Best sound, best music, Mirchi FM rocks and records.
नानी का #1 station है Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot. Mirchi FM it's #1 in nursery.
Mirchi FM is hot. हम लोग Mirchi FM रोज सुनता है. Mirchi FM जागो मामा.